Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Sunday night after show. I used to call it an after party, but this doesn't feel more like a party as much as it feels like a wake. Okay. And I'm saying I'm barely awake. This isn't Sister Wives. This is Sister Sludge. Like, this thing is terrible. Okay, well, you talking about terrible TV. I remember back in the day we used to have must-watch TV. This is not must-watch TV. This is must avoid by all costs. And I completely understand why some people are saying that they are no longer going to pay the additional money to subscribe to the channel to watch the show earlier. And to be honest with you, I TLC, I want to thank you guys so much because you guys are about to save me a lot of money. TLC is about to save me a lot of money. Okay. Thank you so much for dropping the ones in the chat. For those who don't know, I asked that you guys drop ones in the chat so that I know that I can be seen and heard. I kind of jumped the gun a little bit because I didn't even ask coming in. It's just I can't, y'all. This is terrible. Like, this is terrible TV. What are we watching? What is going on? What is going on? Like, this is the part in any relationship, not any relationship. This is the part in really shit relationships where you're being taken advantage of and you're kind of going along with it, pretending like it is different than what it is. It's more than what it is. It's better than what it is. And you're going along with it only to realize at some point they're taking you for granted. And the problem that I have, once you realize that you're being taken advantage of, you're being taken for granted, it's hard not to see it anymore. Does that make sense? When you realize that this person feels like they can do whatever they want, however they want, the way they want, they don't give a damn what you think. You're going to watch the show because we put it out, sucker. You're going to enjoy it. You're just going to eat it up. You're going to buy our merch. You're going to sit around and talk about us because that's all you got in your life, sucker. And you're going to love it. The second you realize that's what they're doing, it is so difficult to go back and pretend like that's not what they're doing. Can I get 100 in the chat? If you agree with me, give me 100 in the chat. Because that show tonight was the dumb shit. This was dumb. Like, it was so stupid. Look, I have some thoughts. I see some hundreds popping up. Thank you so much. I thought I was the only one. I'm going crazy. I'm sitting here watching this show. I'm like, I'm paying all this money. And I'm embarrassed to say how much I'm paying so I can watch this dumb shit. I'm embarrassed. Okay? I'm paying this money to watch this dumb shit. And at this point, let's keep it all the way a buck. If you haven't seen it yet, let me give you a quick ass rundown on what you can expect to see on this bullshit. Okay? What you can expect to see. Each one of the wives took turns turning back the pages on being involved in polygamy and trying to redefine why they got involved with polygamy. They even went as far as having Janelle and Mary talk about how they came into the family. At this point, after years of them being separate, after the divorces, why are we talking about how you met each other? If it's not cogent to some other storyline, like if it's just like, oh, remember back in the day when we got together, it was so amazing. We were one family, but now we can't stand to be in a room with each other. You didn't even do that. That little bit of competition with each other, like that converse idea. You came out and was like, it was so wonderful in the beginning. What did Janelle say? I think I wrote that shit down. It was a beautiful marriage in the beginning. Was it? Was it a beautiful marriage? Because later you went on to say that a week after you got married to Mary's husband, okay, we're going to call it Mary's husband for right now. After a week after you married Mary's husband, you know, your sister-in-law's husband, your brother-in-law, after a week after that, Mary started getting pissed. Here's my thing. I bet you money Mary was pissed the whole time. Can I get 100 for that? Can I get 100 for that? Give a brother a like. Come on now. I bet you money Mary wasn't supporting your relationship the whole time. You don't just wake up one day and be like, you know what I don't like? Now that you done married her, blew her back out, you know, took her to the room and did the nasty on my good sheets. Now I feel like I don't want her in the family. She didn't want her there from the beginning, which is contradictory to one of the things that Janelle said, which is, oh, another woman can't come into the family unless the wives agree. It sounds like to me that Mary didn't agree, but you still came into the family. You know, that beautiful wedding family, the beautiful marriage in the beginning. This is what happens when you try to go back and clean up your bullshit. Clean up on aisle 7. The dumb shit is in aisle 7, okay? You went back trying to clean it up. Now you just made a bigger mess. Because it doesn't make sense. And this is what you call, if this was sports, because, you know, football season and all that good stuff right around the corner from the Super Bowl, this is what one would refer to as an unforced error. This is a mistake that didn't have to happen. You didn't even have to do this to yourself. Why did you do this to yourself? Why y'all still talking about when you got married in the beginning? I don't know. I'm looking at my glasses. I have that I had that weird ass anime. If you guys watch anime, if you ever seen anime, anytime guys wear glasses, they always have like the white lens shine. That means like some evil shit is about to happen. Why is my glasses giving off the white shine off of them? I don't know. Something evil about to happen. James about to get wicked. Okay. This whole shit was dumb. It was like a waste. This shit was such a waste of time. And I am so thankful. Thank you, TLC, because I was struggling. I talked to Brittany, not Brittany, during the round table, and she had mentioned, she's one of the mega mods, and she had mentioned that this might be her last season watching the show. And bruh, I want to tell you what, this might be my last season watching the show on that premium shit. Maybe I'll catch it on the back end on some of my other, you know, I have other subscriptions that have sister wives that, you know, they pick them up the next day or whatever. I might have to do that. I might have to go back. Y'all, this TLC, I'm keeping my money. Sorry, thank you. Thank you, TLC. You know what I mean? All right, fuck it. You know what I'm gonna do? Let's give TLC a little something because they just gave me a super chat in terms of refunding me some money because I'm not gonna pay for this bullshit no more. Here you go. Thank you for the super chat, TLC, because I'm not doing it. Like I'm looking at this shit and I'm like, this is the most disrespectful shit you could have put on air tonight. This shit was disrespectful. This is disrespectful. Okay? You know people are sitting up watching this guy shit to do in the morning. People got to get up and go to work, and you putting this out? Are you insane? Are you crazy? It ain't like you trying anymore. You're talking about shit that doesn't matter. And this is one of the things that I've been saying from the beginning. This is one of the things I've been saying when I started talking about the decline of sister wives. This is what I've been talking about. You have issues and topics that don't mean anything. This is one of the problems that they have with all of the 90 Day Fiance shows, to be honest with you. 90 Day Fiance shows, the TLC flagship shows, their big shows, all of them share the same problems. You have topics, issues, or discussions which turn into plot lines, which don't really have any weight or gravitas towards the character. They're not important. Christine, Mary, Janelle talking about how they first came into the family. What difference does that make? It's not like they're going to come to some revelation and then they're going to say, you know what? I need to get back on the line with Cody because I got to get back into this relationship because I didn't realize, blah, blah, blah. And my whole life will change because of this decision. That's what you need to see on a TV show. All right? Like, talking about talking about previous relationships and how you could have made them better or how awesome they were or the girls you could have talked to in high school and college. They were so fine, they were so sexy. If they just would have hollered at a player, things would have been different. None of that matters. How long you been married? 4 years, forever. Ever. Do you plan on cheating? No. Then what difference does it make? It doesn't affect me at all to talk about previous relationships. Oh, she was a lovely young lady. That shit doesn't matter. Before I met my wife, I was going out with this one young lady and blah, 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 blah. Doesn't matter. Because in the grand scheme of my life, if that person came back, one of the people I used to date before I met my wife, if they came back, James, I want to holler at your player. Look, I have nothing to say. I'm fine with my situation. My situation is good for me. So no, thank you. Thank you, but no, thank you. And that's that. This whole conversation about how they met and trying to dredge up these feelings of yore so that you can come in, and all this is doing is an attempt for you to ham-fistedly try to set up the table so you can do the apology tour. So that technically it kind of means something. So you're going to show them how important this relationship used to be to them and why the apology should mean so much. The problem that you have with that, though, is that the apology in and of itself is that let's take a step back. The first problem that you have is that you're underestimating the intelligence of your audience. You're underestimating and you're underestimating the intelligence and you're disregarding their experiences. The people who watch Sister Wives, aside from maybe people here and there, like I recognize as a man, I am in the minority of people who watch Sister Wives. The people who watch Sister Wives typically are not young women from the ages of 17 to 24. That's not your audience. Now, what does that mean? That means that you got some people with more experience. That means that you have people with life experience. You have people who have been through some shit and seen some things. What does that mean, TLC? I'm going to walk you through it. What that means is we've all been in situations where we've dealt with people who are apologizing, or as I like to refer to in common parlance for me, colloquially, apologize, tell you some bullshit because they don't want to deal with the shit that they stirred up. They just apologizing because they trying to get through it. They're not apologizing because they're sorry. They're apologizing for the resulting action of them apologizing. Full stop. They don't care about how you feel about it. They don't care how you taking it. They're apologizing because they want to be done with the conversation about whatever it is that they did wrong. Now, if you were dealing with some very young people, some very inexperienced people, might I add, that storyline might make sense. Okay, that shit might make sense to some young people who don't know no better. That makes sense. But I don't think that there's anybody who's watching this show going, oh my gosh, Cody is so sorry. He's such a good man. He's apologizing to these women for hurting them. Oh my goodness, he's such a good guy. Nobody is saying that. Nobody is looking at this going, oh wow, Cody is he's really maturing. He's really stepping up as a man. He's starting to take responsibility and accountability for his actions. He's recognizing what he did wrong, and he wants to improve his situation. Nobody is saying that. Absolutely zero people are saying that. You know why? Because we're not idiots. First and foremost, we're not idiots. TLC, please start taking notes when I say this shit. We're not idiots, and we have life experience. We have life experience. I don't need somebody to come to me and explain to me that when somebody does something to me and they need me to do them a favor, when they say they're sorry, they're not sorry they did it. I also listen when one of my personal favorites is when people apologize and say shit like, I'm sorry if you were offended. I'm sorry if that hurt your feelings. What that tells me, in short, that you're not sorry for what you did. You're sorry for the negative effect that it had. You're sorry that you're being held account for what you did. You're not upset that you said it or that you felt it. Oh, I'm sorry I said that. I hurt your feelings. You're sorry you said it. You're not didn't say you didn't mean it. Okay. First couple steps to the apology understanding. And what Cody was doing was the apology the whole time. I'm also sick of the bullshit where you guys have done this thing so ham-fistedly and so often where you've taken the audience members for granted. You know, uh if you hadn't taken the audience for granted for so long and we didn't see the bullshit for what it is now, and we took you at your words, it still would come off funny to me that you're sitting there pretending like you and Robin haven't had this discussion before. Like that you were going to go, that you guys weren't planning to do the apology tour thing to try to keep the show going. We know that that's why you're doing it. You're not sorry for shit you did. One of the funniest things to me was, in spite of the fact that Robin understands that this is what you're doing, she's still mad about you doing it. Not because she feels like, oh, Cody, if you apologize, you should sincerely mean it, Cody. You shouldn't just go and say things. Because if these are bad situations and relationships and you actually want to heal them, you coming out and apologizing is only going to exacerbate or make worse the situation that you're already going through. Because if you've insulted me and then you come back and you apologize or apologize to me for the thing that you did after you've insulted me, the wrongdoing that you've done, and I realize that you don't mean that shit, now I'm even more mad. Because when you're telling that kind of lie, you're basically calling me whatever you did to insult me, you did that, and now you're calling me stupid on top of it. And I don't understand how you think that that's going to go good. I don't know. Maybe I'm different. I don't think so, though. I don't think so. But this is craziness. And then Robin comes out. I think she's more upset because she doesn't want him to apologize. Because one of the saddest things, and it's actually, ironically enough, the one time that I almost felt bad for Cody was when he said, talking about he wants to come out and apologize. And he said something to the effect of, I say things, and a lot of times I feel like I'm not clear or you don't understand me, which is just sad because this man he's talking to Robin and she done turned his ass out like an old t-shirt, right? And he doesn't know which way is which. So he's like, I'm saying stuff and I don't know what I'm saying or if you approve or if it makes sense or not. I'm so sorry, right? It's so sad. Like this dude, Mr. Macho Man, is scared and unsure of himself. So that kind of vulnerability actually might work, but not when you're doing it for some evil, malevolent reason. The thing that jacked me up was Cody first of all, Cody and Robin, tired of watching them go out on dates and having these dumbass conversations. It seems like that's all they want to do. Oh, we're going out for a special evening, blah, blah, blah. We're going to a special dinner, blah, blah, blah. Look at us spending money that we don't have, blah, blah, blah. Awesome. You need to start saving your nickels because this show is done data. And your time on Special Forces made you look like booty. Okay? That booty juice that they poured on your ass on the last episode. That's what you look like on Special Forces. He thinks that because he finished the stuff that somehow that makes him like qualified or interested because he finished all the way through Special Forces. Bruh, your presence on Special Forces wasn't there. It wasn't there. You didn't have the personality. You didn't have it. Like maybe you're cool around the polygamous campfire, but on television, you don't have it. You don't have it. Um, Cody and Robin going out on dates. Cody comes out and says he wants to apologize. The thing that triggers, not triggered me because that's not appropriate term, but the thing that kind of set my antenna up was when he said, we've been talking about therapy. And this was the shit I was talking about when he said that. I was talking about going to therapy, and then that's going to solve my problems. And what did I say last week when he said he was going to go to therapy? People like him, selfish assholes, like Cody Brown, he's a self-admitted asshole, so I don't feel bad saying that about him. People like him, when they go back and they talk about therapy, help, seeking counseling, they aren't seeking counseling because they want to improve. They're seeking counseling because they want to have a particular result and they want to learn to manipulate better. They want to learn different tools of manipulation, also that they can get that final result or that final outcome that they're desiring of. When he started talking about, remember last week we talked about going to counseling and I was going to seek therapy. Yeah, we talked about that because you had suggested it last week. You said you came up with it. So get your story straight. But okay, you guys talked about therapy. And before you took one therapy session, one therapy session, before you took one therapy session, you decided you was going to fix your own shit by contacting these women and going out and apologizing. Maybe, and this is just me, call me crazy. Maybe the thing that you should do, and this is an important point I want to really nail on this, maybe the thing you should do is actually do the freaking work to show them that you're trying and you're trying something different instead of you going somewhere and running your fucking mouth, because you talking about it isn't doing it. That's not helping anything. That's not changing any situations. That's not making people say, you know what I need to do? Forgive Cody because he came in and chef's kisses said the right damn thing. You've been talking for 20 seasons. And all it got you was 3 divorces, prospectively another divorce on the horizon as soon as your money start coming up short because you can't land another gig because you are not, you're obstinate. You are at the point where you just refuse to get better. So now you dangling the idea that I'm going to try to improve myself. Here's the thing, Cody, and TLC, interns at TLC, I know you watch my shit. Tell your bosses. The problem that you have with that storyline is that it's too little, too late. Now in life, if he wants to self-improve, it's not too late. It's not too late for him to self-improve, for him to improve himself and do the things he needs, do the work so that he can be a better person, not only for himself, but for his kids, for his relationship with Robin, for his friends and the people he comes in contact with. That's an excellent reason for you to go out and seek self-improvement, for you to do that work. For a TV show, this particular show, too little, too late. The time is already passed for this whole we've watched you say that you were going to go get help and you were going to talk to therapists. We've already done those episodes. It's kind of like when you guys were doing a rehash of how you met. Christine, Mary, Janelle took turns this episode talking about how they met Cody and how the relationship was and what they feelings was in the relationship. It was like the deal in relationship. We already saw that shit. Here's another big secret. When it comes to the talking, television, movies, specifically, are visual mediums. They're visual mediums, meaning you don't go on television and do an entire dialogue about how you feel about things or what you're doing that's going to be different. On TV and movies, you show the audience the difference. That's because television and movies are visual mediums. You don't sit there and start, dialoguing about how, Mary talking about how she feels about relationships and what she's going to do and how she going to value herself. What you do to show the audience, that prove to the audience that you value yourself, you show them that you value yourself by demonstrating the decisions that you make to show or illustrate that you're valuing yourself. You saying that I'm going, because I want to be with a man who respects me, who loves me, and realizes that it's a privilege to be in my presence because that's what is worthy of me up. You understand what I'm saying? That's what makes me special. You saying that in a room with your girlfriend, cool. I appreciate the sentiment. However, you standing on the side of Cowdy Pass, shinning and grinning and smiling in Cody's face and begging and hoping and praying and Robin will look over at you so she could toss your ass a bone, doesn't show me that you're trying to worthy up. Because this is a visual medium. So you ask yourself the question, why is it that the audience doesn't believe that you've actually moved on from Cody? Because we watch you and how you interact and react and try to get his attention. We watch you do that. So it doesn't matter what you say. Just like, here's a secret, guys. How did you guys all know, you audience members, you bad audience members, how did you guys know that Cody was heavily into Robin and not necessarily feeling the OG3? Because that's what we saw. You can't show me from season 1 all the way through to season 18. You can't show me one instance where Cody came out and said, I prefer to spend time with Robin. Robin is my favorite wife. Robin is the one who, between Robin and her kids, I will ignore the hell out of my kids, my wives. I don't give a shit what's happening with the family. If they in the house and everything burning down, if Robin want to go over and roast marshmallows, we will do that because I'm all about Robin. He never not once said that on the show. That's never been a piece of dialogue on a sister-wife episode. In fact, he didn't say that he was deeply in love with Robin or even acknowledge that he had a special relationship with Robin until about season 19. He started that. So for 18 seasons, he never said it. But wait, where my girl at? Where my girl at? Where my girl at? But you know what I mean? He never said that, but
surprise, surprise. Surprise, surprise.
He never said that, but surprise, surprise. We all knew it. Why do we know it? Because this is a visual medium and we watch how he interacted with Robin. We watched how he looked at Robin. We watched him pursue Robin and always try to be near Robin and around Robin and making sure that Robin was taken care of. We watched that for the last 20 seasons. So when they came out and said in dialogue, this is what it is, duh, we already know that because we watched it. Like, same. Mary, this one's for you. We watch you stand on Cowdy Pass, grinning in these fucking people's faces. Standing here, look at me. Oh, and then you come in and you with your girlfriend. Oh, I'm worthy enough because I'm so special. The words don't matter. In fact, if you have a really good actor, Joaquin Phoenix in Joker, he said a lot of things which were counterintuitive to his actions and his facial expressions. When he was sitting there joking with the last scene, when I saw the scene, I was like, he getting the Oscar. He got my vote for the Oscar. I vote for the Oscars. I was like, he get my vote. He got my vote. When he was doing the last scene and he said, you get what you deserve, right? His emotion in that scene was contradictory to the words that were coming out of his mouth. The words that were coming out of his mouth, he was agreeing with Morty. He was agreeing with Morty. And he wasn't being angry. He wasn't saying like, Morning, I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna put two in your face. He didn't say none of that. He was very, because you could see the struggle that was going on inside. And that's what makes Oscar worthy acting. That's where you get that Oscar from. Because it's the demonstration of when the audience watches it, they see beyond the words. They see the subtext of what is going on in the scene. When sister wives are sitting there and they're trying to tell us what they want us to know, and basically it comes off to me, I don't know about you guys, but it comes off to me like you listen to Twitter or YouTubers or Instagram folks, podcasts, Twitter and all that, where you're getting criticized on social media and you're using the show as a means to respond to people who criticize you on the show. So somebody said Mary's still hooked on Cody. So you come out and make a whole episode about how you don't give a damn about Cody and you gonna make fun of him. And I would never date a guy named Cody. And I'm gonna avoid that. I definitely don't want somebody named David because that'd be so weird because Christine has a David, and I don't want that. I want somebody who's gonna worship at my feet and the altar of Mary. But then you standing out there smiling, hoping that you get Cody's attention. I don't know. But we talk about like the whole conversation between Robin and Cody. That shit was a mess. That was a whole damn mess. I might just break that whole conversation down because I'm just gonna be honest with you guys. Like this whole season's been a disappointment to me. And it's not even so much because I want to see them crash out or do something terrible or horrible, cuss people out or whatever the case may be. What I want to see is realism. What I want to see is something actually that could happen. It makes sense. A lot of what we're watching, because it's so put together by the cast members and the Browns and TLC, because they're deciding what storyline they're going to pursue and how they're going to tell the story. Nobody wants to look bad. Nobody wants to be the villain. Nobody wants to be. It's not even about looking bad or being a villain. Nobody wants to be real. It's coming off ridiculous. This whole thing is coming off ridiculous. You all look ridiculous. And to be honest with you, if you want to be a villain, nothing will make you a villain in reality TV faster than people thinking that you're trying to take advantage of them or fool them or manipulate them. Because when I feel like you're lying to me, you're trying to fool me, then I've never had a situation where I looked at somebody and said, that person's lying to me. They almost got me, boy, all my money. Yep, they're pretty cool, man. They're pretty cool. I would hang out with them every week. Never, not once would you ever hear James say that. I've never thought that somebody who was trying to trick me is my good buddy. So, just saying. Let me get some of these super chats before I get too far along in the tooth. This show got me amped up. But Shanna Lee with the $4.99 super chat. Unless Cody also starts apologizing to his kids, especially to Isabel, Gabriel, and Leon, he hasn't even begun to clean his relationships up. You know what? And let's be honest. Let's talk about that for a minute. One of the sad parts about this, and I thought it was this is an interesting point that they kind of glossed over, was when Isabel was talking about the parents, or more to the point, stepfather, David coming in being a step parent or bonus parent into her situation, and the resistance that she put up towards David for fear that he might actually drive away her father, Cody, who wasn't really around or present. And I think that that's something that's actually interesting, because that's something that's more commonplace than not. Well, I won't say more commonplace than not. It's something that happens. Okay, you'll have a person, two people that start a relationship, one of them have kids or both of them have kids, and the children will resist a relationship with a potential support system, because that's what a bonus parent is. It's an additional support system. It's not that you're going in trying to take the place of somebody. I'm there because it takes a village to raise a child. So I'm one more person in your village who can help you move forward and do the things that you need to get done. I'm a person who, because of the proximity of the relationship I have, and it creates a proximity to you where I might be the first person to help you, right? And because of the fear that they have that they may make their natural parent, in this case, the biological dad, Cody, feel betrayed, Isabel will resist that opportunity to have that support system. And I think that that's an interesting thing. It's actually quite sad because you could miss out on a fantastic relationship that is here, that is now, that is present, that is real, in hopes that you potentially could have a relationship maybe with somebody who isn't really interested in having a relationship with you, because if they were, they would already have a relationship with you. So I thought that that was interesting. And again, I'm also keen on the idea, and I respect Janelle saying this because, again, I think that I'm not going to say she wouldn't have come to this conclusion on her own. That's ridiculous. But I'm sure that they might have heard some of us, the YouTubers and podcasters and stuff, mention that, or at least reinforce the idea. I'll say reinforce that we reinforce the idea that Janelle is unnecessary for Cody to have a relationship with his adult children, because that's what they all are. All of Cody's kids with the OG3, with the exception of Truly, are adults. And even Truly has her own cell phone. So if you want to have a relationship with them, you do not have to go through their mothers. That is like that's one of the most to me one of the more disgusting things. And I'll put a pin in that for a second. I think that that's a disgusting notion, because one, you're putting on a mother because you want them to come back and facilitate that relationship. Would it be nice if the moms facilitated that relationship between Cody and their kids? That would be nice. But in order for you to do that, if we're going to be fair, in order for that to happen, you have to demonstrate to them and prove to them that if they're going to put their name on it, they put their stamp on it, that you have to show them that you're going to be there, that you're worthy of their support, that you're worthy of their recommendation that they have that relationship with you. Because let's be honest, I tell my kids all the time, even buddies and stuff. When I was younger, I would tell them, like, unless somebody is your good friend, and unless you know they're going to do a really, really good job, you don't recommend them for work. Especially at your job. Okay. Oh, it'd be so much fun to have them here because we get down, we could go happy hour after work. It would be convenient if that's the case. But if they come in and they do a bad job, it's going to reflect poorly on you. You supporting, if you're in Mary Christina Janelle's position, and you encourage and push and facilitate a relationship between Cody and those kids, and you do it in a way where you're trying to influence them to pursue that relationship, put their hearts on the line, make themselves vulnerable to this man who doesn't give a damn about their vulnerability, and they get hurt, you've destroyed your credibility. You've damaged your credibility with your kids. So it does make sense that you, in that instance, you would have to prove to them that you're worthy of that recommendation. Now, that's not saying that you can't pursue it on your own. That's just saying that you're not going to get them to co-sign you. One of the things that the easiest thing to do if you apply for a job is for somebody to say no. See, I've always said that, because if you apply for a job or you present an idea of like change of procedures or something like that at a job or corporate, if I say no to you, I get to go to lunch. I get to go to lunch. I get to get off work early, or on time or whatever, or just do my other part responsibilities. If I say yes, now I'm responsible for you. I'm responsible for your answers. I'm responsible for the things that you do. If you come in late, you get caught stealing, it's on me. I'm the one that brought you in. It's kind of like the mafia. You know what I mean? I recommended you. I I gave you the nod. You there under my name. So whatever you do wrong, they looking at me too. So, like in that respect, I get that. The other part of it though is that it's on Cody. The ironic part is that Cody is part of this manosphere. We've talked about that before. The manosphere is dying, y'all. It's dying. The dog's dead. That's Cody, you got it too late, player. Uh he jumped off one sinking ship to a ship that is going underwater too. Either way, his feet are wet, is wet. But in those spaces, those manosphere spaces, they always talk about like men's rights and how men need to have more rights when it comes to custody of their kids and blah blah blah. Here's the thing: basic civics, and it's unfortunate they don't teach civics in school anymore. Basic civics. With rights come responsibilities. Every right you have has a responsibility attached to it. There's no right that you have that's just open ended and you can do whatever you want. There are conditions to that shit. And if you want the right to be able to be seen as an equal parent, the same, on the same footing as the biological mom or whatever the case may be, and you're a father, then you have to take the responsibility of making sure that you're present in your kid's life. You have to take the responsibility of actually being a parent. You have to actually be dad. You can't sit around and say, well, you guys should make a way for me to be dad and make an opportunity for me to do this, and you make a way and create the situations and scenarios where I could be successful as a father, and because I have equal rights. That's not equal rights. If I'm doing it for you, that's not equality. That's me doing it for you, right? And then that's this situation. If he's asking them to fix his relationships, maintain it once they fix and repair those relationships, maintain those relationships because he wants very little to do with it. He wants the out the box, ready to go version of being a dad. And then he wants them to do the maintenance as well because he doesn't want to spend time with them. Then that is not you assuming equal responsibilities for the rights that you claim to have. So if you want to have involvement with these kids, you got to be involved. You got to get in there and do the work, which goes back to what I was saying about the whole thing with the therapy. Meet a therapist. Talk to the therapist. Talk it over with the therapist. Should I call them and apologize? One of the things that I thought was unnerving as well, when he said that he was going to set up the apology tour, he said, I'm going to go in there, I'm going to apologize, y'all. Cool. Go in there and apologize. I don't know what to say. Well, maybe before you call them and book a plane flight and disturb their day and pull them out of the town, have them drive from one part of the state to the other part of the state to meet your ass, maybe you should work out what you plan on saying to them. Because I take that as a sign of disrespect. You're not respecting their time. You just think that, like, at that point, it just comes off to me, same old shit, new package. You're not respecting their time. You just think that you're going to get with them, sit there, look her in the face, hit her. They can try and call it a crunchy smile. Hit her with the crunchy smile. And, and then all of a sudden they're going to melt. And you can say whatever you want and everything will be okay. Just wash it under the rug and you good to go. And you're not apologizing because you want them back in your life. You just apologizing because you don't want no more problems. And I agree with him. I heard what he said. He whispered it and tried to pull it back real quick, but I heard it because I be listening. He said, I want them to stop talking about me. I want them to leave me alone. So basically, in his mind, and this is me, putting my inference on it, I believe in his mind, he thinks that his popularity, his rising star, is stunted because the OG3 are talking about him. Everybody would believe he's a great person, an awesome man, and a wonderful person, a human being, and he's an interesting guy. If he didn't have these women and these kids running around bashing him, everybody would think he's awesome. The problem that he has is, ironically, I'm going to cover it in my, I have something I want to talk about in the McKelty interview. And it's touching on that. But he's not that guy. It's not the fact that these people are talking shit about you. Let's be honest. There's a lot of stars who are shit dads, and people still buy their records, go to their concerts, go to their movies. Terrible. I remember when Sean Connery got on a TV show and said, sometimes women get out of line, you got to slap the shit out of them. He didn't. He was still made. He made Crimson Tide. He made all kinds of movies. Not Crimson Tide. It was the other boat movie. His star did not. His star still on Hollywood Boulevard, y'all. They ain't ripping shit up. And he was not. That was like, what the what? What? Sometimes you just gotta crack on one. Like, what the fuck? Are you stupid? Like you saying this shit out loud on TV, and he said it so casually that you know that this dude believed that shit. But if that guy can come out and say some dumb shit like that, and he's still selling, well, while he was alive, he was still in movies doing The Rock with Nicolas Cage, one of Nicolas Cage's biggest movies, right? Cody, your kid saying you was a shit dad is not. How many guys, like how many parents are we watching on TV? Like, oh man, he was really talented, but don't leave your kids with him. You know what I mean? Like, you can run a list. Oh, Kelly, all of them. So I'm just saying. But I think that also what would be real, just to kind of close this out, Shanna Lee, I think what would also be real is that part of me, I'm turning a corner on Sister Wives, I think. But I think he needs to repair those relationships. And this is going, I know some of you guys are going to be like, what? No, I want to see it. I think he needs to repair those relationships off TV. I don't think that it should be for television. And I say it for this reason. Not necessarily because if he did, because I'm a big fan. If you do some shit publicly, you should have to apologize publicly. Let's be very clear about that. However, in this instance, I think that the television is what he wants. The popularity, the stardom, the recognition is what he wants and what he desires. So if he does it on television, apologize to the kids, it's for the spectacle of the show. It's not to apologize to them. And I think that type of apology is far more damaging to the children and the young folks than him not apologizing at all. I think that there's a point where you could argue that you going in trying to manipulate somebody with an apology can be more damaging than if you don't say anything at all. Like, especially when they realize that, like, oh, he didn't mean he was sorry. Oh, son, especially with Gabe and them. Gabe, kids, I just want to spend time with you guys. I want to be there for you. I want to come to your events. I want to be a part of your lives. And it's a heartfelt moment, especially if it's really good on television. Whoa, that's incredible, Cody. You said that. I was ready to break down crying when Isabel started tearing up. Oh, I lost my shit. Right? Amazing television. Then the next week, when Isabel or Leon or Gabe or one of the other kids, Savannah, calls and says, hey, Dad, I was wondering, I'm going to be in town next week. I'm going to be in Arizona. I was wondering if maybe we could stop. I could stop by, pick you up, and we can get something to eat. I'll pay. Go down to Salsa Brava. I know you go down there about 4 o'clock. I'll pick you up at 3:30. We could be down there at 4, split some margaritas and some Salsa Brava shit. And he turns around and say, no, I'm spending time with my family that day. That would be way more damaging if he just keeps doing what he's doing, in my opinion. So from that respect, I want it when he apologizes to them, I want him to mean the apology. I want the apology, the reconciliation to benefit them, because that's more important than me seeing it, if that makes sense. So, but I'm with you. I'm with you, Shanna Lee. Thank you so much. Let me give you a little something. All right. Then we had Megatron with the $10 super chat. Hopefully everything's going well. Let's get some hearts in the chat from Megatron. They was testing her on Thanksgiving. Some folks tried to test her, but our girl, she stood 10 toes down. But let's give some hearts in the chat. I can't even speak anymore. For Megatron. I watched Cody admit he only apologized to the exes so they will shut up talking about him and Robin. And Robin reprocessing Cody thoughts for him in real time so he doesn't do apologize because he didn't do anything wrong. Yeah, exactly. And that's what I was saying. Like, I think that 100%, he was sitting there just like, oh yeah, I just don't want them to ruin the opportunities that I have coming because of my time on special forces. I don't want them to get in the way of my star rising. Sir, it wasn't coming. It wasn't coming. Especially if you look at TLC, the TLC lineup, y'all, the TLC lineup, they don't give a shit. Okay, they don't care. TLC don't care about, oh, this person or that person. Cody was an asshole. And you might be able to argue in some stretches with some stretching and some creativity. You might be able to argue that at some level he might have committed some crimes. But you have people on TLC starring in their shows, their flagship shows, who have committed atrocities. And in most cases, they don't get kicked off TLC until they turn around and violate the NDA talking about the shit that they were involved with. I'm talking about like all kinds of stuff. I don't even want to get into it on it because I'll talk about it. What some of the stuff that some of these people been accused of, my video get damn demonetized. And they might kick me off YouTube. Shit's so crazy. So no, Cody, they're not giving you a spinoff because 3 women who divorced you are talking shit about you. That's not a thing. That's the TLC don't care about that. TLC don't care about that. maybe the crazy ironic part is that TLC might be doing to Cody what Cody was doing to Mary and the other wives. Like, you set a goal up. Like, if you do this and we're able to turn it around, then I'll be able to do this. But until you get to that point, yeah, I can't do nothing for you. It's a shame because I want to, but the numbers ain't really there. And if we could turn those numbers around, maybe there's something we could do. I don't know. And then go out, work. And as soon as he reaches that goal, they're gonna turn around and be like, yeah, but we're gonna move that over a little bit. Yeah, and like the whole thing too was like, it's a shame because I think, like, to Megatron's point, this is what I was saying earlier. I think they went in with a plan that they were going to do the whole apology tour thing, but Cody forgot his lines because he's a shit actor. Okay, he forgot his lines. He forgot what he was supposed to say, and he's going in and they because it's so ham-fisted watching Cody, Robin, even her kids try to come up with these storylines, and they have stuff that they're supposed to say, points they're supposed to hit, and they don't hit the points right because it's unnatural, because they really don't feel that way, and it's not what's really going on. And they're just trying to, again, they're trying to dialogue their way through this episode to explain where they are, to justify where they are. And again, this is not a spoken medium. This is a visual medium. So you have to show us. We believe what we see. We don't believe what we hear you say, especially when it's contradictory to common damn sense. Sorry, I'm not going to be a fool for you guys. What kind of fool am I? I'm not that fool. Not today, son. Not today. But let me give Megatron a little something. Yeah, I'm just, And that's how they treat us. They treat us like we them new fools, y'all. Yeah. Oh, y'all them new, fresh out the box fools. Got that new car spell and everything. Miss Monica, the empty nester. What? Welcome to the membership. Give it a little something, something. Welcome to the show. You can join in the Saturday morning. I keep saying that shit. The Saturday afternoon show at noon Eastern Standard Time. We have a good conversation. It's awesome. Yesterday we was talking some mad shit yesterday. Have fun. Thank you so much, Miss Monica. Thank you for the support. She said, I'm the empty nester. She living free. She said, y'all better call before you come over to the crib. Because I'm living my best life. You better call before you come over to the crib. I don't mind you having the key, but you better ring that doorbell. We got Betty Aldridge in the house with a $2 super chat. What's up, Betty? How you doing? Robin worried he may admit to fraudulent actions. Yeah, right. Which would be awesome. That would be hilarious. That to me, look, TLC, if you guys are able to work this, I'm not saying that they did anything wrong. I'm just saying. I probably would. If you guys caught them on tape admit to some criminal shit and you put it on air, I would happily give you the money to continue my little subscriptions so that I can keep watching this show. But as it stands now, yeah, fuck y'all. But if you guys had them, you know, that's why there's an old pirate saying, only way two men can keep a secret is one of them gone, kicked off, slumped, ain't around no more, pushing up daisies, kicking dirts. You know what I mean? Like there's, and Robin looks like that guy. Like you in cahoots with a dummy. That's another thing. Like if you're gonna do something wrong, never get involved with somebody who don't have the intelligence or mental capacity of a walnut. Because that you sure as hell gonna get caught. Because as soon as they start talking, especially if they think they smart, because then they're gonna try to tell a lie that's easily disproven, and they're gonna forget the lie halfway through the lie. And you might as well just go ahead and start measuring yourself up for whatever jumpsuit they plan on giving you, and start taking like taekwondo or jiu-jitsu lessons, because you're gonna have to defend yourself in the big house, messing around with folks like that. Because Robin looked like she don't trust her partner. Robin definitely looked like she don't trust her partner. Like, no. Because she even when he talks, and this is how I know they work the shit out. If you watch them talk, when Cody's explaining how he's going to apologize and why he's going to apologize, and he's cutting Robin off, he's saying stuff, and she's like, yeah, okay, yeah, all right, because that's the script. But as soon as he started kind of, working his way off the script, that's what I'm saying. Visual arts. It don't matter what you say. It's how you act. I'm giving acting lessons to go ahead, Rob. But that's what it is. It's the subtext. The subtext is more important in visual arts. The subtext is more important if you have like if you're watching a play, because they have certain limitations. They can't, do a whole lot. So they have to talk and they have to tell you how they're feeling, especially because of the proximity that you're in that particular medium. If you're doing a play, there's people in the back row. They can't necessarily see the slight changes in your face or facial expressions. Or micro expressions, what they call it, but they can't see that. So when you're doing television or you're doing movies or things like that, the camera's right there in your face and you can see everything. You can see everything. So when Cody's explaining this, like kind of Betty's point, when Cody's saying shit and Robin's like, those micro expressions tell me exactly where he's going, or where he should go, and you're afraid of where he might end up. The micro expression. So, yeah, but thank you so much, Betty. I appreciate you. Then we had Annie Banani. What's up, Annie Banani? Annie Banani, shake your fanny. I'm sorry. $5 super chat. What? Hope you had a great holiday. Thank you. I hope you had an awesome holiday too. I hope everybody had an awesome holiday. I just got on the live. I'm so ready for the semester to be over. LOL. 2 more days. Did I miss any speak pipes? No, we didn't do the speak pipes. I was my dad came over. We was chatting. We got my dad, my brother. We my partners in crime. We be solving the world's problems every time we get together. So we wound up like they came over. We were gonna like eating stuff early because my wife had to do some things that evening. But we were just sitting there chopping it up, and we wound up chopping it up till late, you know, just talking and enjoying each other's company. We call it solving world's problems because we wound up talking all kinds of shit and just, we get into it and time got away. But we had a good time either way. But yeah, that's I mean, to be honest with you, that's kind of what for me, that's what the holidays are. Like we do that actually every time we get together. So it's not even really like a holiday thing. But my big thing is always uh try to, you know, birthdays, holidays, Christmas, Thanksgiving, all that shit is nice, right? Getting together and a family having a cause and a purpose and sharing that tradition, that's cool. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm not bashing it. But take every opportunity. Every day could be Thanksgiving or Christmas. Anytime you put a meal down or you guys break bread together, that could be your Thanksgiving. You know, you don't have to celebrate on the day. It's when you get together and how you enjoy each other's company. That's kind of the earmark. But yeah, I feel you. Ready for the semester to be over. Okay. 2 more days. You're gonna be living that life. Try to hold it down, Annie Banani. Keep it together. Keep it together. Let's give Annie Banani a little something, something. Let's give Annie Banani some celebrations in the chat. Little celebrations. You know what I mean? Because that's important. Gotta recognize each other's, cheer each other on. You can do it, Annie Banana. You just got 2 more days. The semester's over. Might not be the end of your journey, but it might be the close of this chapter. Let me give you a little something, something. Out this world. Yep. Oh, YouTube is my time machine. $5 super chat. YouTube is my time machine. It's OG, triple OG. They've been around forever. Uh, it annoys me to no end that Cody can't seem to even function without running it by Robin. It's annoying, it's scary, and it's sad. Like, I believe that you should be able to talk to your wife or husband or partner and seek counsel and guidance or, just somebody to bounce shit off of. Like, I'm 100% in that. Like, I'm not going to bash him for that. But it just seems like whenever the two of them get together, it doesn't ever really seem like he's coming at her as a partner and seeking her input. It seems like he's looking for her permission, which is way more disturbing. You understand what I mean? That's so much more disturbing. Like, like, I get it. Like, I value my wife's opinion, but I have my own mind. And I'm sure I hope she values my opinion, but she has her own mind. Like, she has her own feelings on things. And so what I give is maybe a different perspective or input on things that she may not, in a way that she may not have considered or she didn't see. I'm not telling her like what she's doing is right or wrong, or you need to do it this way, or if you do it your way, you're doing it the wrong way, and this, that, and other. But it feels like when I watch Cody and Robin, that's what she's doing to him. She's basically telling him, if you don't do it the way I want you to do it, you're doing it the wrong way, and it's not going to work. Part of the problem that I think he has is that you are listening to her and she doesn't know what she's talking about either. So the shit ain't gonna work. That's why you're running into problems, because you're listening to her and she doesn't know what she's doing either. So it's kind of the blind leading the blind situation. But let me give YouTube's My Time Machine a little something, something. All right. But yeah, that's the whole thing. But when it comes out, like is there anything else I want to talk about? Yeah, I think that the like the whole thing with Janelle and the whole thing with Mary, I guess they got a replacement for best friend Jen. Hopefully she's still friends with Jen. Like, I don't know. I guess she is because she did the tell all with her. But maybe they wanted to expand her friend group because they were afraid they would have to start paying Jen's ass if they kept putting her on episodes. They're afraid they might have to start cutting her checks. So they found Mary a new friend to hang out with. But it's like some of the stuff that they're talking about, I don't think it is exciting to watch, especially as we're moving on. It's just it's starting to go basic, bare bones, and I don't think that there's or Jan's husband said she need to keep her ass home. Yeah, you gonna stop going there every time you show up there with Mary, somebody naked. Yeah, I saw the whole previews of like them talking about next week where Cody's actually going to meet with with Janelle, and they're going to have this deep conversation about the apology tour. And I'm sorry, I never told you I loved you. That shit is so arrogant. Like that, you're an asshole for that. I'm gonna tell you, girl. I know it's been bothering you. I know you've been losing a lot of sleep overnights because you thought that I didn't love you. But rest assured that even though I'm not with you now, and no intention of ever being with you again, when I was cracking that back, I cared for you, girl. Oh, thank you, thank you so much. I didn't think I could go on anymore without knowing that you love me. Oh, I thought I'd have to end it all. Like that is so stupid, and it's such a like. Uh, ah, and to be honest with you, like the whole apology tour, I don't think it's just the fact that it's the redemption arc. I genuinely think this is TLC's way of trying to bridge the gap so that they can keep them all on the show together. Because for whatever reason, and I think I understand the reason why, but I think TLC is very hesitant about breaking them apart and putting them on their own shows. Because here's the ironic part. And guys, correct me, let me know. Let me know what you think. Here's the ironic part. We're talking about TLC. We're talking about TLC. TLC will do a spinoff of anything. TLC will do a spinoff of anything. They'll do a 90-day fiance, 90-day fiance, perfect example. 90-day fiance before the 90 days. 90-day fiance, 90 days. 90-day fiance, happily ever after. When they break up or they having problems, 90-day fiance, last resort. When they break up, 90-day fiance, single life. Then if one of them go home or whatever, 90-day fiance, the other way. They spun the hell out of that show. They've had people who've been on like all the shows. As soon as one show ends, the next show picks up. So now 90-day fiance, happily ever after is about to end. And I'm sure they're going to start rolling in 90 Day Fiance, Single Life, or one of them other shows to pick up the slack. And some of the people who are on this last episode of Happily Ever After are probably going to be on the Single Life, and we're going to get to watch them again. And they've been on every episode or iteration of Sister Wives or 90 Day for the last 4 seasons, just going from show to show to show to show. You could do the same thing with the Brown family. There's no reason why they can't still have Sister Wives and Christine have her own show. Janelle have her own show. Mary have her own show. Cody and Robin have their own show. If they were interested in doing that, guys, I'm telling you right now, if TLC was actually interested in doing a spinoff and they were serious about it, when Sister Wives ends, we would be watching a spinoff show for one of the cast members. They would have a spinoff show. In fact, they very well could have like a back-to-back spinoff shows where one ends, the other one picks up, and they basically carry Sister Wives throughout the year like they do with 90 Day Fiance. Or they could have them on different days. You do Christine and David on Sunday. You do Mary and her friends on Tuesday. You have Janelle and her friends on Wednesday, and you do Cody and Robin on Thursday or Friday. They could do that if they wanted to. And then next season, when Sister Wives start back up, you throw them all back on one show. They could do that. TLC don't give a shit. TLC don't care. They do not move with economics as far as their shows and production. Like putting their shows out and making sure they ain't wasting people's time. They don't care. TLC don't care. So with them not doing that, that tells me that right now they don't have an interest in giving them their own show. And because they're not interested in giving them their own show, they're telling them that you have to heal these relationships so we can keep you on the same show so that the show makes sense. So this season, everybody gets the apology tour. I don't know what you're going to do next season. Next season, we're going to send you guys all on a trip together, and you guys are going to talk about how you had problems and stuff, and then that way it'll be interesting, and they'll watch it because why not? And that's all it is. So, I just don't think. I think that we all kind of had, like, even I had that fantasy that they were going to do a spinoff and blah blah blah, and they set it up for a spinoff. The reality of it is, if they were setting it up for a spinoff, they'd already be shooting a spinoff. Because TLC don't need much. They don't need much run room to do a spinoff. They don't. They absolutely don't. They got Seeking Sister Wives. They got Brother Husbands. They don't give a shit about shows. They'll put a show together for anything. What is this? When he says, sorry, but they barely have a show all together. This is true. None of these people can carry a show on their own. I don't think so. Because the one thing, like, I know people are fans of theirs, and I know that they like them. But the one thing that I've asked, and I'll ask you guys now before we close out, what would the shows be about? You understand what I mean? If Cody and Robin had a show, like Sister Wives, it was about polygamy, right? Polyfamily. It was about polyamorous families or plural families who are living in a polyamorous lifestyle, and how they deal with each other, how they interact with each other, et cetera, et cetera. 90 Day Fiance, clearly people coming from different countries. How are they negotiating the system? How are they getting married? What are those relationships like? Et cetera, et cetera. What would the Cody and Robin show be about? Middle-aged people having a marriage. We have a newlywed experience. You guys have been married for 15, almost 20 years now. So after 2 decades, I know you might say you have a newlywed experience, but that's kind of up there with, I'm a reborn virgin. It's something to say. It's something you can say. that doesn't make a thing though. You know, it's just, and even like Christine and David, like right now, she's kind of living in a space where she's discovering the differences of what being in a relationship is like, and she's discovering it for the first time at 50. But most of the people who watch the show have experienced that when they're in high school. Like, so it's not new to us. And I don't know if it's interesting enough TV to watch. It's almost like watching somebody learn to walk. No matter what the storyline is or the compelling storyline is of why they don't know how to walk or whatever, the arduous nature of them doing it and the commonality of the experience of them doing a thing that so many people have experience with doesn't necessarily make for good TV. It would make for a touching uh segment to watch if you knew the person or knew the connective story. It might be interesting, but it's not a blockbuster show. Like, that's not the cornerstone of your network, right? It's just, and like I said, I'm trying not to be an asshole about it, but it's just, it, it's just one of those things. And even with like Mary, her dating stuff, like this is she's been doing a dating thing all season, and it's not getting better. Like, it's not getting better. Like, watching, like, and I'm tired of because Robin had something weird. Like, I couldn't do the apps because it's so weird. And people, I don't know how people are dating now because it's so weird. Like, lady, how many people you think people swiping left down the AUB? That's how they meet now. I mean, tell me something new. That would have been some new information, in the AUB. Instead of you going to church and perhaps meeting a future wife or husband, you jump on the polygamous only or the sister wife app and start slipping and slapping left or right to pick people up and like, they look good, right? But it's just, it's corny. It's stupid. It's not the good stuff. It's not the good stuff. Not the bee's knees. And it's just not like, I don't know what the shows, like, I know people are interested in seeing their lives continue and what's their next chapter is going to look like, but for a show, I don't know what the show is going to be about. Like, you should be able to describe any show that you watch, the concept or the premise of the show should be able to be summarized within maybe one or two sentences. This is a love story. This is a horror story. This is a story of betrayal. This is a revenge tale. This is, what are we watching? And I think that that's one of the problems that they have. This show is undefined. Um, and Carmel Hughes, I'm not interested. And the ironic part is, I think Carmel Hughes is one of the people that actually likes me. Say, I'm not interested in Mary's dating life, you know? And one of the weird things about that too. Oh, good morning, 02796. One of the weird things about that too is that Mary has proven historically to be a person who wants to put her life on television, but then doesn't want to have people talk about her life. So if you put your family, the sister wives, and your relationship with Cody and Robin on TV, and you get mad at people because they comment on your situation and you don't know me, you don't know my life. Why would you talk to us about your sex life? With something way more personal, way more secretive. Why would you want to talk about that? And I'm going to do you one better because I know you get sensitive about people talking about your sex life. I'm not interested in watching your sex life. That backfired. And Carl McGee said, "Yeah, I like Mary, but I'm not interested in her dating life story. She annoys the hell out of me." Yeah. Uh, and I can see that too. I can see that too. Oh, that's a good one. Mary talks in quotes. I think we're all over that already. I think that Mary talks in quotes, and so does Cody. That's why Cody's annoying because he tries to say everything he says. He tries to make it like this deep philosophical, you know, expression of thought, and it doesn't make sense. Like half the shit he says doesn't make sense. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? One, two, that has zero relevance to the actual subject matter that we were actually discussing. So, I mean, that's, I think that's a fair criticism. And again, if you're not going to be real on a reality show, what are we watching? Because the acting isn't strong enough for me to watch you act out a storyline. And I and I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to be nasty. I'm just saying it's just not strong enough for me to watch you try to act out this particular scenario that you've created. Your acting skills are not there. And I'm not saying that as like, oh, it's if you were simply trained as an actor. You know, Tom Cruise, one of the hardest movies Tom Cruise probably did. Tom Cruise, uh, Will Smith were movies like uh Castaway for Tom Hanks, where on the movie he spent a clear majority of the time by himself. Will Smith with the I Am Legend movie, where you spend a clear amount of time alone. The movie that got uh, James, I forgot his name, 97 Hours, or I think it's 97 Hours, uh, got him a Oscar nomination because that's one of the hardest things you could do is to be on screen and hold people's attention. It's not easy to do. And so I'm not criticizing him because he doesn't have that thing that makes you want to watch TV because it's not easy. It's not something that you actually can train for. It's just either you have it or you don't. And Cody, he just doesn't. James Franco, thank you, Wendy. Yes, actually, I met James Franco a few times. He's I went to a school with his good friend. But the yeah, James, yeah, never mind. But the whole thing is that you know, he doesn't have that thing, and the acting skills that will be required for them to act out their little storylines are beyond them at this point. Not saying they can't go to school. Maybe they can learn some stuff, start taking acting classes. So, you know, they can make some suggestions. Y'all want to go take some classes, but that shit is crazy. Um, what is this? Love y'all. Chucky wears me out when his lies and deflections. And now it's time for candles and bubbles. Love y'all. And James, and I'm out. All right, Kathy Ferrer, you have a good one. What did Megan try to say? Slide me, slide on my digits. You do not want to mess around with James Franco. Yeah. I mean, nice guy. He's a nice guy, but he's, dating wise, probably not the best. Um, yeah, but yeah, I just, I hope you guys enjoyed at least my segment, my take on the show. I'm gonna leave it there because here's the thing too that bothers me about this show is that when push comes down to shove, I feel like every week, and this is why I say like I might have to. I'm really looking at my subscriptions and stuff as far as TLC is concerned because when I'm looking at this stuff, they're not even trying. They're not even trying. Like you're not even trying anymore. You're just basically throwing a camera on some people. I've said this about like 90 Day Fiance, even Seeking Sister Wives. You just have a bunch of people that you cast for your shows who are trying to become social media famous. And so they get on your shows, they barely talk about anything, they barely reveal anything. The storylines that they have don't mean anything. Literally don't mean anything, right? it's just dumb shit. Like I watched the last 90 Day Fiance. In fact, they should have aired the last tell all tonight. This will be my last 90 Day Fiance show. They had a whole season where one of the couples, their entire storyline was a young lady was like, her husband wanted her to get pregnant. She said she didn't want to get pregnant because she couldn't get pregnant. He begged her, begged her, begged her. Let's go to the fertility clinic to find out if there's a problem or issue. She said she didn't want to go because she was scared. She get to the fertility clinic, find out that the issues she was having was correctable. She said she didn't want to do that. Then she said, I want to go on vacation for 2 months, just be a world traveler. Made him quit his job. They went on vacation. Guess what? She came back, going for 2 months, came back pregnant. Almost 2 months pregnant. Month and a half pregnant. Her whole storyline was essentially about getting pregnant, then hiding her pregnancy from his parents. And his parents are probably going to wind up paying for everything. So it's just it's kind of a storyline, but it doesn't mean anything. It's not important. It's not life changing. It's not something that you're going to look at and say, if she does this, if she does A, she could have a wonderful life. But if she does B, she's going to ruin her life. Now, what decision is she going to make? There's no stakes in the decisions or things that they talk about. Some of the issues that I have on Sister Wives now is that there's zero stakes in anything that they talk about. Oh, if we talk to Cody, should I talk to him or should I leave him alone? Should I go apologize to the wives or should I leave him alone? It doesn't matter what you do. Can we honestly say that? Can we at least admit that altogether? That with the Cody apologizing, if he goes and apologizes, their lives don't change. If he apologizes, they accept his apology, their lives don't change. If they don't accept his apology, their lives don't change. There's no difference in him doing it. It doesn't even matter. And that's the problem. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like, none of this shit matters. The people he should apologize to, he's never going to apologize to, which is the kids. And they certainly aren't going to film it. And he's certainly not going to take responsibility. So technically, it's not going to be an apology, because how could it be an apology if you can't even acknowledge what you did wrong? Hence, apologize. So what are we talking about? And that's why I think that, like, I like to think that I can pontificate and talk about a lot of this stuff on end, but there's certain things that I can pull from this episode. The rest of it is just a husk. This is a husk of an episode. So it's not really a whole lot to discuss. But on Tuesday night, if you guys want to call in, you can you can have a conversation with me. You can call in, have a conversation with me. Maybe you saw stuff in this episode that I didn't see, or you enjoyed it in a way that you can explain to me why this thing was important. But yeah, of course, like, let's give the stage to Lizzie B. Said 350 plus watching. James, right now, remember, hit that like button for the live stream. Let's get it. Yeah, no. And I'm gonna be I have to come up with a schedule so I can get my my short form videos back out, because I might have to do the redirection just to get a lot of that stuff out so I can start making some of the points that I was making before. Because this stuff is just it's turning. And part of the reason why, James, you're so negative on Sister Wives anymore. Part of the reason why I think there's such negativity is because that's the way that they're casting or telling their stories. They're not telling stories of positivity. They're not telling stories of empowerment. They're telling stories, because the empowerment portion is all dialogue and bullshit stuff that they're saying. There's nothing that's there that's of a positive nature. What is this? Oh, yeah. Lizzie B will be giving out a membership on the other chat. So if you guys want to hit that link, you can go to the other chat and potentially you can get a membership. But thank you, Lizzie B. But Karen Foster said, First of all, he is not one bit sorry for his ugly and evil behaviors. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. He is sorry we all loathe him and see him for what he really is. Yep. And he's sorry that it might stand in the way of him being able to achieve some type of payback or get some money out of the situation. So yeah, absolutely. We had a message from Unlimited Lipstick, Janet in the house. I'm so excited to watch the live when I get home. Love you, my take fam. Love you back, Janet. Appreciate you. We had Megatron with the $5 super chat. The OG3 should have slapped him with a reverse draw 4. You know, that's when you start. You got that reverse draw 4, boy. You got that draw 4 in his ass. And especially as two people, you got that revert that draw 4, like reverse, draw 2, reverse, draw 4, Uno, colors red, bow, draw another 2, Uno out. I don't know. Depending on what kind of family you come from. If you come from a family of card sharks, some card players, yeah, mad shit get talked around the table. But Megatron's point, I'm sorry. Yet I digress. $5 super chat. The OG3 should have slapped him with a reverse draw 4 and brought all the kids to Apollo Live scene. He would have fainted seeing Leo, Maddie, Payne walk in. Or all of them get together. Because I did think it was telling that he was like, I don't want to meet all three of them at the same time because I think that might be too much. Yeah. Because in this situation, he always wants to be in a power position where he thinks that he can overpower the people that he talks to, which is why they don't do the tell-alls all together. Because he realized that there's power in numbers. And he might be able to out scream, out yell, out shout, out talk one of them, but it's hard to do when all three of them come in at his neck. 100%. So yeah, that shit would have been funny. You know what? Again, TLC, I might have kept my damn membership with my little streaming stuff if you would listen to Megatron. Just saying. You are the lost one. We had Lizzie B. 350 members watching. James right now. Please remember to hit that like button for the live stream. Yeah, let's get it. Appreciate you, Lizzie B. Yeah, I just, but we are going to be, we're going to be doing some things. I just got to figure out how I got to do it. But because we're going to move, not out of Sister Wives, but we're going to start moving past Sister Wives a little bit on the channel, just because, like, these guys, just because they don't respect us don't mean we can't respect ourselves. How about that? You know what I mean? Because I'm going to worthy myself up. Yeah, I mean, and you got, and as far as like, and here's the weird part about it. I know a lot of people say that, they would have stopped watching Sister Wives a while ago had it not been for this show or other shows on YouTube. And if I'm going to be all the way honest, you guys kept me in a lot of Sister Wives longer than I probably would have stuck in there too. Because it's when I think about like Sister Wives, part of the reason why it was so easy to walk away from 90 Day Fiance is because my 90 Day Fiance content wasn't really good, and a lot of folks wasn't watching it. So I have no vested interest in the show. And so when the show started going to shit, I don't want to give them my time anymore. Simple as that. I have other things that I could be doing. So gave it up. But I like having conversations with you guys. I like talking to you guys, getting your perspective. We can meet on the minds, meet on the battlefield of Cody and Robin, dash and bash the two of them, and then have conversations outside of that. And I enjoy that. So, thank you guys so much for that. I appreciate you. Lizzie B, she gifted one My Take on Reality membership. What? Hopefully you guys enjoy that. Please participate on the Saturday call-in at noon for the members. It's an awesome time. We talk about everything. When I say everything, I mean everything. Okay. Sometimes it starts off Sister Wives. I think last couple times, we talked about Sister Wives only a little bit, and we were talking about a whole bunch of other stuff. So it was awesome. But thank you so much, Lizzie B. Give you a little something, something. All right, guys. I'm gonna wrap this bad boy up and to TLC because I know that you guys are watching. I know that you are putting the interns to work watching the lives. And James go crazy screaming in his microphone. And to the interns, I want you to share this message with uh your people, the people you report to, the TLC staff members, so on and so forth. In this season, you know what? I'm gonna give you congratulations. Congratulations on another Sister Wife season. I hear that you guys started shooting uh season 21, and I guess you're getting ready for that. So congratulations on that. And as far as the content of the show and potentially losing viewers because you guys are not respecting your viewers,
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Congratulations, you played yourself. Because you had people who were tied in, looped in, and dug in with the franchise. But I think that because you've taken us for granted for so long, that you've grown accustomed to us being there for so long, which is pretty much the moniker of the show, as far as I'm concerned, that because people had been around for so long, you just assume that they will always be there for you and they wouldn't go anywhere, no matter how badly or shabbily you treat them. Unfortunately for you, sir, ma'am, I am not a sister wife. I am not a sister wife. So you don't get to just treat me in any old kind of damn way and think that I'm just gonna stick around and let you keep laying down so you can walk all up and down my back. Sorry for that, bro. No, thank you. You know what I mean? You are out your mind. And I know y'all sitting around your little boardrooms, and when you looking at them numbers every week, you start getting the numbers in on who's watching the show and who's not watching the show. And you watching that number go like this. You understand what I mean? I know y'all in there sitting around the boardroom looking at each other, just hollering out at the top of your lungs. Damn. But if you want better, you got to do better. You want people to stay tuned, you want people to stay in touch with these shows, you got to start doing better. Right now, you've fallen off. You're not meeting the needs, you're not meeting the moment. Because this was a top-rated show. This was your flagship show. But after a while, the show is turning into dog shit because you're not respecting your audience, because you think that you can sit there and hide behind the fact that I don't want to tell them too much of my personal life because I don't want them in my business, but I'm going to just go out and say some old dumb shit that doesn't matter. I'm going to talk about a relationship that's, 5 years old from divorce. I'm newly married, or I'm newly single, and I'm proud to be single and I'm happy to be alone, but I'm going to talk about my previous marriage. Nobody cares. Like, you know what? I've heard people say on this channel that, I've heard both sides of it. One side will say it's important that Christine is able to talk to David about her traumas, stresses, and things that she went through before. And I think that is important. I think that's valid. However, as the new person, as a person who's there for you, every conversation I have with you can't be about the things you used to go through with the other guy. That can't be the sum total of our relationship. And right now, that's where they are on Sister Wives. Everything that they talk about is all about what they went through with Cody. Now, I recognize that was a big part of their life, very traumatic, but I don't see where the improvement is coming in. Because there is a point where you just sitting around talking about it isn't helping you. And if you're that stressed, you're in that much trouble, let's see some proactive stuff, especially because you're on TV, you're an example. Let's see the proactive nature of you not just talking to your spouse or your significant other, but actually seeking help. Because if it's that deep, if it's that painful, and if it's that traumatizing, you might need more than just I'm going to retell these or recount these stories, and that'll help me get over it. You might actually need somebody to help you work through it. So I think we're at that point. But yeah, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me, listen to a brother rant and rave about this show. This thing will give you a damn stress headache if you don't need it. Wait. Oh, they need to cancel and do a spinoff, but it has to be a good one. Sans Cody and Robin. Yeah, I mean they gotta figure something out. But like I said, if they were serious about spinoffs, because the more I think about it, if TLC is serious about doing a spinoff, they'll do a spinoff. They'll do a spinoff with the show running. They would literally have sister wives, then they'd have the Jen and Mary story, they'd have the Cody and Robin love affair, they'd have the David and Christine honeymooners, and they'd have Rancher Girl, Janelle, North Carolina edition. They would run a spinoff. So I don't even think they're really serious about spinoffs. I just think that's something that like they've been floating around social media having us say, and to see how you guys are receiving it. And depending on how well the story itself, the main show is going, would determine whether a spinoff happens. And that's one of the weird things about it too, because especially dealing with TLC, if Christine, Mary, and Janelle are listening, or even Cody and Robin, you need this show to be successful. Because if this show is successful, you'll get your spinoff. If this show starts failing, you won't get a spinoff. Just my opinion. Yeah, YouTube's My Time Machine said they need to start getting into money or family secrets. Yeah, you got to start coming up with something. You got to give up something. There's a cost to being on TV. It's not free. This is not free. So you gotta give them something. You gotta give us something. So I agree with that. But I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I appreciate you. I'll see you guys on Tuesday. Tuesday night, we have the call-in show. Then Thursday, we're doing Speak Pipe. We're back on the Speak Pipe, y'all. So leave your messages on Speak Pipe so we can run through those messages. Then we'll be back again on Saturday for the roundtable. And, of course, next week, we'll be back after that for the after party. All right, guys, this episode this season is pretty much wrapping up because we're about to watch the apology tour between the three wives, and then I guess we're going to watch tell-alls. So this thing is wrapping up. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Big shout out to the mega mods in the house. We got Lizzie B, Carmel Cuties, and Brittany Not Brittany. Appreciate you guys. How come this is not coming up? Okay. Oh, there we go. There's a Speak Pipe information. Thanks, Brittany. Lizzie B. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Make sure you take care of yourselves. Get some turkey. You guys still eat turkey? I'm about to go have me a turkey sandwich. So yeah, it's sorry, Michelle Woods in the house. Yep, we finishing up. But I appreciate you guys. And tune in next week because actually on Tuesday, I'm gonna start rolling. We had one of the members just scrapping, came up with some tunes for a player. And we're gonna start rolling some of them tunes out, put them in the intros and stuff. So make sure you check that out. It's hot stuff. Hotness. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I want to give a big shout out to the folks who kicked on to the show with some of the super treats. We have Shanna Lee. We have Megatron in the house. Megatron taking care of herself down there. Miss Monica, the empty nester, joined the membership. Welcome. Betty Aldridge in the house. What's going on? We had Annie Banani. Good luck with your schooling. Hopefully everything comes out right. The last 2 days go quickly. You are met with much success. Then we had YouTube is My Time Machine. This thing is not cooperating tonight. Then we had Unlimited Lipstick, Janet in the house. Lizzie B gifted a My Take on Reality membership. Thank you so much. Let me give you guys a little something. to commemorate that, as well as everybody in the chat for keeping it super cool, being super friendly, and making sure that we have a safe space to be able to share ideas. What? All right, guys, that's my take. Oh yeah, Elizabeth said happy holidays, everybody. So yeah, happy holidays. Hopefully everybody had a good time, stayed safe, kept it warm. I appreciate you guys on the rewatch, folks on the rewatch. Thank you so much. Yeah, guys, I'll see you on Tuesday for the call-in show. Not Tuesday, went Thursday, not Thursday, then next Sunday. All right. Thank you so much. That's my take. I'm James, and this has been my take on reality. And I'm
'Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side.